Hey everyone, and welcome back to episode 4 of Bite the Arrow, in which I review a Arrow video movie. So today's movie is the 1988 B-movie slasher Doom Asylum. So, Doom Asylum, where do I start? So this is one of those slasher movies which were just pumped out at the mid to late 80s, where you got a lot of direct video, just low budget B-movie slashers, and this had a budget of circa $90,000, so not a lot to play with. It stars actually famously, she's there, Kristen Davis. So she was in Sex and the City, never watched it, but you know, she went on to bigger, better things. So this movie was shot at an abandoned asylum, which was pretty cool, as you can see in the background, and it was shot over like 8 days. What's interesting, it's all shot in the daylight as well, and I'll come to that as part of some of the likes and dislikes. So, what's this about? So, it opens up with a lawyer and his girlfriend. I can't remember his name now. Mitch, I want to say something like that. I can't. And he crashes his car, and she's killed off straight away, and he's taken back to a morgue, pronounced dead, and is basically going to be cut up at that point. But he isn't dead. He wakes up and kills the doctors, and then he stays there. So that's it. That's the setup. And then it cuts 10 years later, and the daughter of the woman who died in the car accident at the beginning, and her real typical 80s eclectic mix of friends, go to the asylum. Pretty much to have a party and sunbathe. So her and her friends, you know, the geek who collects like cards, like magic cards, the jock, you know, your usual slasher characters, bunch of characters. Go to this asylum. Because it's kind of an urban legend that people are being killed off at the asylum by mortuary equipment. So they go to this asylum, and there happens to also be a punk band there practicing randomly. So, and the only reason that punk band is there is for fodder, for kill fodder. There only purpose there is there. They're there for. I mean, there's no real plot, really. It's just a low budget 80s slasher, kill people, and that's it. So what did I find? What did I like? I actually laughed a lot about on this film. So I think this is not meant to be. This is a horror comedy, and it's meant to be funny. And I found myself laughing so much during this, but I wasn't laughing at the jokes. You know, maybe 10% of them landed for me. The rest, what I was laughing about is just how bad it was. And some of it was just so over the top. There's one of the lead singer from the band, I forget what they're called now, Tornado Tits, great one-liner. She's just so over the top with her laughing. There's no real plot, and it just kind of meanders along. But you know, I actually had fun, and I can't not admit that. You know, I was laughing, I was enjoying myself whilst watching it. Girls in bikinis, what's not to like about that? Especially Kristen Davis. Now, there was quite a couple of really good practical effect kills. Spoiler here, but Kristen Davis dies by like a drill blade thing in her face. I thought that was really good. So there's some actually good, quite practical effects in there. Not too many, but what was there was quite good. And the killer, he'd been after his car, and all his skin's all melted, and he had this real weird, like, Freddy wannabe laugh, where he's like, and he's got a real, like, melted face, and all that. You know, he looked good. You know, I can't fault that, especially for the budget and the time it was about, when it was filmed. So, I mean, but my biggest issue with this movie is that it's 78 minutes long, and fucking hell did you feel that 78 minutes. There were scenes in it where they intersected scenes of the killer watching old black and white movies. I think for one of them was Sweeney Todd, one of them. And they just draw out these like black and white scenes for so long. And it's just like, it really takes you out of whatever plot was going on. But they were there for filler, and it was just pointless filler. And it just was really badly done. And there were some scenes where some of the characters were daydreaming, running to see each other. And they played this kind of dream sequence for far too long. And then they played it again later on, only maybe 5 minutes afterwards. There's no plot. There's no good acting. don't get me wrong, and I know that's not what you expect in this sort of movie, but some of it was so bad. But apart from all that, you know, I'm going to say it is just, and I mean just, so bad it's good. It's actually so bad it's fairly enjoyable, quite enjoyable. And I think you'd have a blast with some friends with it. Has it got large rewatchability? No, it doesn't. But do you know what? For the time and the era this came out, and all the other movies out there, do you know what? I think it's got an audience. There's a slight charm with it, and rightly or wrongly, I found myself being quite entertained during the movie. So even with all the real bad flaws which I brought out about the timing and the acting, would I watch it again? I would. So there we go. Arrows wise, how many arrows am I going to score it? I'm going to give it a solid 2. 2 out of 5 arrows. So there we go. There's the 1988 movie Doom Asylum. Yeah, I'm not going to encourage you all to go seek it out, but hey, it's worth a watch. So thank you for watching. Hope you like and subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And I'll see you again soon for another episode of Bite the Arrow. Cheers.